What's going on YouTube? V here. Today I have my ALTERGEIST deck profile. I kind of rigged this up last minute. I just want to show you guys what I'm working with. I definitely have a lot of different builds of ALTERGEIST that I like. Different builds that I think are really good, and here's one of them. Here's one of them that I just want to show you guys because I think there's a lot of cool things I have here that I'm not seeing in any other ALTERGEIST deck profile whatsoever. Before I begin, I just want to say thank you to all my Patreons, and if you guys like this video, please hit the like button, and subscribe and comment down below and let me know what you guys think. Right off the gate, we're going to have 3 Multi-Faker, 3 Meliseek, we're going to have 3 ALTERGEIST Marionetta. I mean, this is the basic ALTERGEIST setup, 2 Sequitas and 1 Kikuri. Some people are starting to take Kikuri out. It's just, nope. That's a dumb idea. For the hand traps, we also have 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. Now, we're also seeing this being taken out as well. Yu-Gi-Oh! Players that are playing ALTERGEIST opting to play like Trap Trick and whatnot. I'm not a big fan of Trap Trick. Not that I hate the card. I think the card definitely has a lot of great application within this deck. But the deck list is actually really tight for ALTERGEIST, depending what you got to have, and I'll go over why. But looking at the deck right now, we need Ash Blossom desperately in this meta. Obviously, it's not good against the Danger variants, but against everything else, including Salamangreats, this card is really good against. You Ash the Gazelle, their play stops, and then you can continue to control the board. That's why I'm a big fan of Ash Blossom Joyous Spring. For the spells, it's only 6 of them. It's 3 Secret Vigil Spellcaster and 3 Pot of Extravagance. Now, the thing about Secret Vigil Spellcasters I want to say is, I know some decks are playing Metaverse, and that's because they want to play Metaverse against Sky Strikers, activate Metaverse, bring out Secret Vigil Spellcasters. Now they can't chain Twin Twisters if you have a face-up Spellcaster monster on your side of the field. That's a really good play. But to be honest, that doesn't always happen. In fact, when it doesn't happen, you're bricking. I'd rather brick with 3 than brick with 4. That's the mentality. I feel like every deck that you play Secret Vigil Spellcaster against, that's not Sky Strikers, is going to have an issue with this. Also, going first against Sky Strikers, you just play Secret Vigil Spellcasters. You don't need a 4th card in your deck that can have a potential to brick. That's why I'm not too crazy on it. I think Metaverse is a great card. I think if Sky Strikers is more prevalent, I would put 2 Metaverse, 2 Secret Vigil Spellcasters, and at that point, 2 to maybe even 3 Trap Trick. But being the fact that we're not really in that kind of meta right now, I think 3 Secret Vigil Spellcasters is more than enough. Also, 3 Pot of Extravagance. I hate this card at 3. I want to put this build. I want to do 2 Extravagance, 2 Duality, and I know a lot of Pot of. I'm about to say not a Pot of Extravagance. I know a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players that do play ALTERGEIST will disagree with me. Don't want like 2 Duality. Don't want like 3 Extravagance and that's it. Or maybe 3 Extravagance and maybe 1 Duality. I really do like the 2 and 2 ratio. If you're Extravagance into Extravagance, you pretty much upstart Goblin. That's really it. I feel like if you Extravagance, with 2 Extravagance, there's less likely a chance you're going to see the 3rd Extravagance, and you're going to play 2 Extravagance, 2 Duality. Currently, right now, I am testing 3 Extravagance. It's decent. There's times I do draw a 3rd Extravagance, or I draw cards I really don't feel like I want to draw. It's not worth it at times, and I feel like with a 15-card extra deck, even though we don't need every card in the extra deck, we still need some. And I think with 3 Extravagances, it's not worth it. I might go back to 2 and 2. This deck is currently 41. I might make it 42 with 2 Duality and 2 Extravagance. Also, if you're out there and you only have Desires with Duality, you can play that. Like, Extravagance is phenomenal. I mean, obviously, it's a really busted card. But I still feel like ALTERGEIST players, instantly, the minute Extravagance came out, instantly forgot about the fact that we could run Desires and Duality. You just run 2 and 2. That's like the perfect ratio. That's what I ran forever, and it was not that big of a deal. I opt for 2 Extravagance, 2 Duality, but you can do it the other way around. It does work good with Desires and Duality. Hopefully I cleared that up. I see a lot of that. A lot of players freaking out over that. And it's just something about that annoys me. You can't still play this deck. Up next is 3 Infinite Permanents. You can't play this deck unless you have 3 of these. Once again, a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are trying to take this card out and put other cards in it. It doesn't work that way. The reason why Impermanence is so good because it helps you proc your Multi-Faker. The reason Impermanence is so good because besides the Ash Blossoms, now we have another card to help stunt the ability of your opponent on their turn to activate the cards, and you can also proc Multi-Faker. I don't know, something about this card that Yu-Gi-Oh players taking out just annoys the crap out of me. You definitely need 30 of these, unfortunately. 3-person spoofing. I think at this point this card's staple at 3. Here's another card that a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are starting to put in, but I always play this card, and that's 3 evenly matched. Now you can say, well, V, you can run 2 evenly matched because you have 3 extravagance, or 2 evenly matched because you have 2 duality and 2 desires. You're right, I can't do that. I'm not going to. I played at the regionals. I got my invite at, I think, the Louisville regionals. I originally got my invite, made top 8 with 3 evenly matched at another regionals. I believe it was at Indiana. Anyway, the one I just barely made barely got my invite in, I was running 2. The other one I made 3. Evenly matched is a phenomenal card and a huge blowout card. Obviously, with extravagance, you activate it starting your main phase. So, whatever way they can negate this card, or they can stunt this card if you're playing against like Salamangreats, they will use it for your extravagance. And then you go, cool, battle phase, and you go into evenly match. It won't kill the deck, but it'll definitely clean the field, allowing you to get a much better play. Also, evenly match with Multi-Faker is a huge play that not a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are opting to omit. I'm dead serious. If you have not played evenly matched, test it online. The card is phenomenal. I want it at 3. I always want to open it. I want to open up evenly match, Impermanence, just a spice. And this deck with this ratios has done pretty much that what I wanted. Play this card at 3. I don't like this card at 2. Once again, if you go to 2 duality, 2 desires, you can play it 2, and even then I would play it 3. This card's phenomenal. It's a huge blowout. You can easily bait your opponent in this meta with this deck especially, and you can clean their field out and just win. Up next, 3 Summon Limit. Yu-Gi-Oh players are starting to run like Warrior Warlords, and even though Warrior Warlords is a phenomenal card, it's useless against a lot of the matchups. Against the Mirror Match, against Salamangreats, just useless. But Summon Limit is not useless. Summon Limit's huge. It's great against every deck. There's not one deck Summon Limit is not good against, especially the Mirror Match. We're seeing decks side in Summon Limit. With Altergeist, we're playing Summon Limit. Activate Summon Limit on your opponent's turn, bring out Multi-Faker. Multi-Faker's going to bring out Sequitas, and guess what? Now I'm going to bounce one of your cards back out of the very few summons you're allowed to play, and I'm going to control the board with this one card. It's a huge card. Nobody's really playing in Altergeist right now, and I think hopefully Altergeist players, as they realize this is a phenomenal card, will start playing it. Summon Limit is huge, guys. It allows you to control the board right off the gate. Opening up a Summon Limit is just as good as opening up an Evenly Match. Summon Limit is your going first card you want to open. Evenly Matches your going second card that you want to open. Nevertheless, this deck is prepared for either or, going first or going second. I know my previous builds, I always like playing Altergeist going second, and now we're in a meta where a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are playing their decks to go second. Well, if you're playing your deck to go second against my deck, I'm going to set a Summon Limit, and we start with any of your Danger variant plays. I'm just going to flip this card over. I'm going to go Marionetta, summon Marionetta, get a Protocol, set a Summon Limit, and that's it. Unless you have like Twin Twisters, the game is about done. And I'm going to control the rest of your board. And not a majority of Yu-Gi-Oh players are playing Twin Twisters in the main as well. Game 1s will always go to you if you open this card against a lot of these matchups going first, because they just don't have the ability to control it. Salamangreats have Foxy, I believe. We have Protocol. And Foxy's once per turn. So I really do think Summon Limit's a phenomenal card. I think it's a card a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players need to start using more. It's really that good. And then we have 2 Manifestation, 2 Protocol. Anyone who cuts this is just stupid. You have to do 2 and 2. We also have 2 Heavy Storm Dusters, just for the back row, to bait stuff out. And then we have the Solemns. It's just Judgment and Warning. Even though I like Solemn Strike a lot, this is a very tight deck list at 41 already. And we need Judgment and we need Warning, mainly because Denko Sekka. That's the main reason. We get Warning and Judgment set up, and our opponent starts off going Denko Sekka. We have the immediate answer. We don't have to dedicate too many resources, and we can continue to control the board. Also, Inspector Border. Not that it's a big deal for most Altergeist players. I think most Altergeist players kind of scoff at Inspector Border. But seeing these cards, once again, is huge against that matchup. For the extra deck, it's pretty much routine at this point for extra deck for any Altergeist player. But I'm still going to show it in case someone's considering to play the deck. You have 3 Hextia. I play 1 Kodolga. I know some builds are playing 2 or even 3 Kodolga, just because if they pot of Extravagance, they might run a chance of hitting into all the Altergeist cards. If it happens, it happens. You're playing Altergeist, it's not that big of a deal. You can just go into super duper control mode. The deck's phenomenal if you're doing that. Obviously, you would love to always have 1 Hextia. Kodolga is not Hextia. I know some Altergeist decks are trying to go, oh, Kodolga's not that bad. It's decent. I might put a second one in if I have the room. But for the most part, I really don't care. And then we got Prime Banshee, another Altergeist monster. These are my 5. The odds of hitting all 6 of these on the first extravagance are super limited, and any one of these being around is still good. So that's why I say I might make it up to 6, but even that, like, it's just not that big of a deal. There's a lot of other things you can do. For nightmares, we got 1 unicorn, 1 phoenix. I think this is more than enough. We Witch's Apprentice, which once again, if you are playing this deck, you can sub this off from the ALTERGEIST monster. The reason I put it in is for against Inspector Border, but to be honest with you, even Inspector Border is not that big of a deal against this deck. We do run a Koshkik and a Ningirsu. I'm testing these out right now. We're seeing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players play a lot of real weird stuff in the meta, and I feel a lot of people are getting set up for Akashic, watching the matches, and Ningirsu is another out for hard cards like the Boros, basically. Obviously, you need 1 Clara Rushka and 1 Linkribo. Now, in this build, I actually don't have any extras on me. I might have another one around here somewhere, but here's how I would do it. And I don't know what to take 100%, I'll be honest with you. I really don't. But you run 2 Clara Rushka and 2 Linkribo. This, as a second one, is just important as this. Do not run 3 of these and 1 of these. Since we're playing Secret Vigil Spellcasters, you're kind of always going to want to have a Spellcaster. And the odds of you hitting, because the ratio normally is 3 Linkribo and 1 Clara Rushka, which makes it 4. Okay? You run 2 Linkribo and 2 Clara Rushka, so if you lose your Linkribo, I mean, this card's phenomenal. But since we're running Secret Vigil Spellcaster, you're going to want to have the second Clara and Rushka in case you lose the first one. So you can continue to play and continue controlling the board. We're a control deck. I don't understand why we're seeing 3 Linkribos and 1 Clara Rushka. It's really doesn't make any sense to me. So I run 2 and 2. Then we have 1 Evil Storm Cyanide. Once again, another card I'm just testing out right now. This is a really good competitive ALTERGEIST build, but it's still a test build. I haven't taken this deck to like a regionals yet. I'm planning on it, but haven't done it yet. But Evil Storm Cyanide's a card in theory works, so we get that. I'll definitely look into it more. And of course, both Boros, Borreload and Borosword. Borosword to OTK, Borreload against really hard to beat matchups like Thunder Dragons, which is not really a hard to beat matchup. It's more or less I gotta continually find an answer for your deck. Obviously, I can go Sequidus, but if I could go into a Borreload and then have a Multi-Faker on board, it's a game. I mean, I could beat you down if I want to, and I can control whatever you do put out. Most likely Titan. So that's why I like this card a lot in this build. And it gets other matchups as well. This card's a phenomenal card. We're in a meta where both of these are needed. If you are looking to play ALTERGEIST, you have to get both of these. Borosword can actually win you games. I've won tons of games in regionals with this card. Side deck's really being worked on, but it's up to you as far as you want to put in. Here's a great like outline of a side deck for my ALTERGEIST deck. And once again, this is what I'm currently playing right now. It might change, it might not. 3 Joan Lockbird. This card's phenomenal. The card's amazing. You sub it out for your Ash Blossom, so you play against any spammy builds, you know, like Orcus or whatever the hell. You just put this in and you just drop it on them. And you're like, okay, stop with your turn. My turn now. Flip up Summon Limit, control the game, or draw into a Summon Limit. Obviously, 3 Dino Wrestler Prankatops. It's obvious. Once again, it's good against Inspector Border. You have to do 3, do not run 2, anything like that. No one's doing that, but just in case. And 3 D-Barriers. Now, this is something no Yu-Gi-Oh player really is doing. D-Barrier is a phenomenal card. Now, once again, like I said earlier about the Danger Orcus, you play against Danger Orcus, you set your D-Barrier. When they go on to start their combo, you flip them and go Exceeds. That's it. They can't Azathoth you if they can't make Azathoth. Too much IQ. Also good against Penta Magicians, which is starting to see play. Also good against any deck that plays their extra deck. This card's phenomenal. And it procs Multi-Faker on top of what it does. I'm sold on 3 D-Barriers. I think this is a phenomenal card, and hopefully you guys look to start running this card. It's a really good card. Up next, 3 Wiretap. This is another card that the only reason we're playing this is because Red Reboot exists. Hopefully in the April bans, we see Red Reboot get banned. That'd be great. It'd be amazing. Ban Red Reboot. Ban Counter Trap that stops trap cards from hand. Red Reboot. And let me take this card out, because I don't like running this card. But the reason we run this card, and the reason why this card is always being ran, it's always being subbed out. At least 2 Heavy Storm Dusters will be going out for a Wiretap, depending on the matchup, of course. And we'll try to make room for the 3rd one as well, finding room in the deck. But the reason why we're putting this in is because of Red Reboot. Because when I get Summon Limit, when I get my control combo, and I set everything on board first turn, and they go, and I activate Summon Limit during standby phase. By the way, that's how you're supposed to do it, always during standby. Unless you know about it really well, you should always do it during standby. When they activate Red Reboot, you Wiretap that bad boy. Now they're playing at you with 4,000 life points with a Summon Limit on board. That's their game state. Because they played 1 card. And they get punished for it. That's the only reason why I like this card. Yeah, I mean, hopefully Red Reboot gets banned, because I hate running this card. And then we have Different Dimension Ground. Man, this card's phenomenal. In that era where we have Salamangrates, Danger, everything, Different Dimension Ground is a phenomenal card. You play against Salamangrates, and the minute they start doing their combos, you just flip a Different Dimension Ground. It's going to stop their turn. The idea of Altergeist is always to stop my opponent's turn so I can play Yu-Gi-Oh! So I can control the board. And after a couple of turns of me just stunning them, I'll go, oh, do whatever you want to do. It's none of it's going to happen. And that's why I love Altergeist so much. And that's why I think Different Dimension Ground is such a phenomenal card that a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players hopefully are going to start running soon. Because this card is a blowout against Salamangrates. It's a blowout against... Hell, this is a blowout against Pendulums, believe it or not. Because they have to send their rank 7 monster, is it rank 7? Exceeds, I forgot his name already. The oddies got to the graveyard in order to proc his ability. You're like, cool, banish him. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Now that I say it out loud, it just doesn't sound right. Anyway, Danger variants. Anyway, guys, that's my Altergeist deck right now. I'm still testing. I've been testing it constantly. I have not stopped playing Altergeist. I feel a lot of people think this deck is done. This deck is dead. Altergeist is still a phenomenal deck. I do like Subterrors a lot as well, and as you saw my previous story, I deck out with Subterrors. I enjoy it a lot, but Altergeist is my favorite deck in the meta right now. It's good, it's balanced against everything, and it's all about control. And even though we see Subterrors doing the same thing where it's all about control, I feel Altergeist can do it more. I feel we have more of a higher ceiling with Altergeist, where Subterrors is you open your hand, you have to play Extravagance, you go into Terraformer, you go into your field spell, you get your Guru out, or you get the hand trap Phoenix out. Set your Guru, flip your Guru. If you have Phoenix, you get the trap card. Like, the turns are for Subterror, which is a fun deck, but the turns are more automatic, where Altergeist, you have to think a lot more. And, yeah, I just like that a lot. I like thinking more of my games. I like focusing more on the game state. But both decks are phenomenal, guys. If you're working with either or, they're really, really busted right now. And don't let nobody tell you that your deck is dead. This deck is not dead. Play me at a Yu-Gi-Oh! Event and watch me smash. Like, I'm not even saying I'm a good Yu-Gi-Oh! Player. I'm saying the deck is a good deck that is highly underestimated. And as people start looking at Altergeist and start saying, oh, the deck is dead, whatever, move on. As they start doing that, we're going to see Red Reboot slowly make its way out of the extract. You can't beat me with Denko Sekka. It does nothing, Denko Sekka. I mean, to be honest with you, you go first turn Denko Sekka, we have Infinite Permits, we have Aimly Match, we just have all kinds of cards. We have Meliseek that can just beat right over it because he'll go right through it. We have a lot of cool cards to get right over all this, and I think that, once again, Altergeist is definitely a phenomenal deck that a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are just cutting through. They're just going, it's not good enough, and then moving past it, but I really do think it's a phenomenal deck. Anyway, guys, please make sure to comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button, subscribe button, and you guys all have a good day.